Might be wondering, Instagram Reels, why are we talking about this? Well, if you don't know, Instagram Reels are the newest features that have hit Instagram, okay? So to give you a little bit of insight, what you saw at the beginning of my video is in fact a reel, and it looks a lot like a TikTok, right? So Instagram has released Reels, which means there are these 15-second or 30-second videos that you are able to record. And you can put your music with them, you can add text, you can make them really fun. It's about really cool transitions, and it is just like the new way to get your content out to everyone. So you may have noticed, if you look at the bottom of your Instagram screen, that you will see a new tab. So usually it is like your main feed, your home feed. Is the explore button where you can kind of see like content that is in your interest area or your area of interest. And then you'll see that there's like a little Reels tab. And this is really cool, you guys. This is major. So there never has been an Instagram TV tab at the bottom where you can see everyone's IGTVs. At least correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen it. But now we have Reels, a Reels tab. And so this way you are exposed to everyone. Even if you don't follow them, you can see everyone's Reels, like the most popular ones or the ones that again are in your area of interest. And this is major for content creators. If you're trying to get your name out there and get your face out there, this is the way to do it. Also, if you're trying to get ideas for what to post on Reels, because you might be like, I don't know where to start, like this is overwhelming, looking at that tab is that way to do that. But before we get into all of that, I want to say why it's even important to use Reels, right? Why do we need Reels? Well, let me tell you. Instagram tends to favor their new features. They favor those who use Instagram's features. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So if you are using Instagram stories and within your stories, you're using the poll feature, you're using the question feature. Now, the thing to do is to use your Reels. Why? Because it's the newest thing. And so you want to make sure that you're getting that video content out there so that you are remaining seen and that you're at the forefront of all of content creation, if you will. A little bit of info about Instagram Reels is that they used to be only 15 seconds long. And this was kind of frustrating, but I think it was just Instagram's way of rolling out this new feature just to see how people felt about it. And it took off, right? And they extended it to 30 seconds, which is amazing. All right, so you have the option between 15-second videos and 30-second videos. I tend to go towards the 30-second videos, but it really depends on what information or what you're trying to do with your video. Another thing about Instagram Reels is that you are able to directly add music to your videos within the Reels. So you have access to Instagram's music library, which is amazing. They have pretty much every song that you can think of. And so you can add your audio directly within Reels. So that's another thing. Another thing you can do is add text. So much like your Instagram stories, you have access to the same fonts. And so you can add your text directly. You can also edit within your Reels. So everything that you need to do is within your Instagram Reels. There is really no reason to leave the app unless you want to do more advanced things or you just prefer other apps. But Instagram really makes it to where you do not have to leave the app to edit and do everything that you need to do. It's kind of like a one-stop shop, like a Target in a sense. There's no need to go anywhere else. All right, so now that we know why Instagram Reels are important and how they work and like information about them, let's get into how you're going to craft your Instagram Reels. So this is the fun part, but it can also be like the most daunting part. I'm only going to scratch the surface here. There's so many cool things that you can do within an Instagram reel, but I kind of want to give you a little good beginner guide to how you can get started, and then we can get more deep into how you can like do more advanced things with your reels. So again, you noticed in the intro video, and I'll play it again, is that I'm transitioning into different looks. I'm transitioning into different blazers. And so the way that I'm doing that, it's all about timing, and that's where your editing comes in. Now, I've had people ask, how do I film my video? Are you filming directly in Reels, which you can absolutely do, or are you filming on another device? The answer is it all depends. So I will say that I do not prefer to film within Instagram Reels, even though you can. I just find it a little limiting. So I'm either going to film on my phone, which I'm doing now, or I'm going to film on my DSLR camera. You can do either or. It's really about convenience, and like I said, what is like easier for you or what you prefer. So if you choose to film on your phone, that's awesome. You can go ahead and shoot short videos, because chances are you're not going to get everything you need in one take. And so the way that I like to chunk it is I just kind of do it in shorter videos. Now, some people might go ahead and just film all the way straight through and then they'll edit. Either way works, okay? If you're filming on your DSLR or your camera, then you're gonna go ahead and film. Make sure that you are pointing or turning the camera vertically instead of keeping it horizontal, because that way you're making sure that the ratio is the correct ratio. Because again, if you're filming horizontally, it's not going to, like, the perspective's not going to be right. Once you go ahead and upload to Reels, it's going to be like a horizontal video. They do have it where you can scale in and kind of zoom in on your video, but then chances are everything's not going to fit in the frame properly. So that is a little tip from me to you, to go ahead and shoot vertically. Now that we have that out of the way, you are filming on those devices. That's up to you. So you have 3 ways to do it. Your camera, like your phone, your camera, or directly in Instagram Reels. Now that you've already figured out what you're filming about and you've begun to film it, I'm gonna stop you right there. So one thing that I had to learn the hard way is that Reels the covers of your Reels, and I'll show you, matter a lot. They matter a lot. It is how people are clicking on your video. It is why people are clicking on your video. And let me explain. So Instagram Reel covers is basically what you are seeing on your feed before the person clicks into a video. So it's gonna be a part of your grid, and you want it to fit within your aesthetic. So if you have a certain brand color, you might want to, go ahead and create your cover like on Canva or something like that and make it fit into your brand. So for instance, you're going to make every cover be pink, or if your aesthetic is kind of like these earthy tones, then you're going to make sure that whatever photo you choose or whatever background you choose, that it's going to go ahead and be like an earthy tone, if that makes sense. So covers are super important. So like I said, you've already filmed, you figured out what you're gonna film. You're gonna go ahead and edit that cover. And I'm telling you this because, like I said, I've learned the hard way, and I will not pay attention to the cover because it's really easy to overlook that part. And then I'll upload and I'll be like, oh, I didn't want this little snippet. Sometimes it's of you, that still of you in the video, because it's going to kind of choose a still from the video to use as your thumbnail, if you will, or your cover. And that's just not alluring. The whole thing is you want people to want to click on your reel, right? You're excited about this reel, you uploaded it, and now you need people to click on it. A little tip that I have is you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either go ahead and have just a basic photo of you or photo of something else that's really intriguing that fits in with your aesthetic and your feed, or you can also have that photo but you can have some text there. So you might want to have this text to entice people to read or click or not read, to watch or click by saying like 5 ways to make money right now. You are more inclined to go ahead and click on that video because you're like, oh, I know what it's about. Now, I've seen it work the other way where people just have a photo and they don't have any text, and that works too. But again, it's totally up to you. But I would say that it's like your reel covers are just as important as the actual video. One thing to note is you cannot go back and edit and say, oh man, my cover sucks. Let me go ahead and edit and change it. You cannot do that. Again, learn the hard way. So you want to make sure that your cover is just as important and you took your time with it just as you did your video. So that's a little tip there. Okay, so now you have your content. Now you're ready to edit. Just like there are different ways that you can film, there are different apps that you can use to help you edit. So for instance, if I'm using my camera and I'm taking, well, let's just say if I'm using video that is from a YouTube video that I did in really long form and I just want to put it in short form into a Reels format, then I'm going to go ahead and just edit on iMovie. iMovie is free. It comes on your Apple computer, assuming that you have one. You even have it on your phone. And so that's an easy way to do it. You can add your music there. You can add your text there. Like, it's a really cool way to edit. If you don't want to use iMovie or you don't have access to iMovie, that's okay. You can use other apps like InShot. InShot is one of my favorite. I recently paid for the pro version and it is only about $14.99 a year, you guys. So whenever you are seeing like these really cool like glitchy transitions where they kind of like swipe up or swipe down with the video, chances are they're using an app like InShot. So again, all of these apps will be listed below or they'll be in the description box. But yes, InShot is a favorite, and I would say go ahead for the pro version. That's how you get access to like the really cool transitions and things like that. If you do not want to go ahead and download yet another app, you have the option of editing directly within Reel. Remember in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that that Instagram makes it where it is a one-stop shop. It doesn't want you to leave its app. It wants you to be able to do everything within the app, and you absolutely can. So if you choose to go that route, you can totally upload your videos, even in the little chunks, and then you can edit from there. You can add text, you can add music. Again, up to you. It's a personal preference. Okay, so you are editing your videos. So if you are wanting to do some really fancy transitions, this is where it's going to come down to your editing skills. Now, I'm sorry, if you don't want to take a lot of effort and time, then you probably don't want a really bomb reel. It's up to you. Do you want a good reel that is gonna get a lot of views, or do you want like a meh reel? Totally up to you. But I'm telling you that reels are going to take time. Editing takes time. So you look at it like, oh, it's only 30 seconds, oh, it's only 15 seconds. How much time could it take? It can absolutely take, 20 minutes to an hour sometimes. Totally depends on the preparation. It's the fancier you get with changing clothes, or even like stuff like the Bust It challenge where you are going from like being plain with no makeup to being all made up. Those things take time, okay? So don't be surprised if it takes you an hour or two or whatever it is to go ahead and film your video. So I'm gonna say this, transitions are key. Transitions are key. Did you hear me? Transitions are key. You have to get those transitions seamless. Once again, do we want a bomb reel or we want like a reel? If you want a bomb reel, transitions need to be seamless. Now, what that means is you are going from the one thing to the next thing like in a blink of an eye. It's like creating an illusion. You are a magician. Like, you have to get it where, where did that come from? I don't even know, because my transition was that bomb. Like, that's how it has to be. So that comes with editing. All right, so you're gonna have to go back and forth and rewatch and splice and do all of those things. So again, let's say that we're editing in InShot. So I'll show you the different ways that we can do this. So editing in InShot is super simple. You can do it directly from your phone. That's what I love about it the most. And it just comes down to, like I said, trimming. So you'll see me trimming my video. I'm not gonna get it perfect the first time, so I'm gonna go ahead and adjust. And again, if I want like a really cool like transition, like a glitch transition, or like a swipe up or a swipe to the left transition, then I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. I will say that you wanna make your video as captivating as possible, and people have short attention spans. So like me talking to you directly, like hopefully you're still here. Thank you for that. But you want to keep their attention. So the eyes love when things are like not moving like this, but the eyes love when things are constantly keeping it engaged, right? So if you're like swiping up and then it's like going this way and you're leaping into this, chances are you've really got your audience like pulled in. Another thing is to add words. So a lot of times I'm guilty of this. I'm sorry, but I might be watching something at work. I might be on my lunch break. I might be in the bed with my kid, or it's quiet in the house and I can't turn on the sound right now. So I need to be able to read or still know what's going on. And so that's where text comes into play. So you have to assume that someone is watching your video on mute, unless it is literally just visually appealing and there's no reason to even have text. But people want to know info. Believe it or not, people want to know, because if you don't tell them, they're going to be asking you a million questions in the comments, which is fine, but they love to know information. So this is where you're adding your text. And you want to make sure that the text is at the right place in the video. So I will say again, I would add my text in InShot. I would almost do everything in InShot except the music possibly. I do like the music catalog on Instagram more than I do in InShot. But I definitely would add my text just because it's so much easier to add text at the points of the video that you need it as opposed to Reels, but we'll get to that. So another thing that I forgot to say is that because these videos are so short, and I've mentioned how people's attention span kind of wanes, you want to make sure that you are only keeping in very important parts. No one needs to know all the excess stuff because they just don't care. So you just want to make sure that it's as like short and simple as it can be. And it's funny that I'm saying this and this video is longer than 15 minutes, but it's a lot of information. So yeah, you want to make sure that the message you're trying to get across is conveyed clearly in those 30 seconds. You don't want to end the video and it's like, what happened at the end? Like, what's the finality of this? Like, I don't understand. Or you want to make sure your intro is really good and it makes sense. You want to make sure, like, again, you are in primary school, that there is a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that you are keeping the most important parts. If we are editing within iMovie, it's going to look the same, but a different app, if you will. Same thing, add your text, add your transition, slow it down, speed it up, whatever you want to do. And then if you are editing within Reels, adding the text at certain parts is a little bit different. It's a lot of bit different. I'm showing you how I'm adding in my text here. Make sure that you're clicking on the text at the bottom and you're sliding it to where you want the text to go. So that is how people get really cool, like disappearing text, like not disappearing, but it's in one part of the video, then it's gone, and then it's up here, and then it's here, and then it's down here. That's how they're doing it. Now that you've added your text, you want to go ahead and add your music. So I equate adding music to picking out a birthday card. You don't want to just select any freaking birthday card. You want to make sure that the birthday card fits the person because it makes it that much more meaningful. Music is like that. If you have a really like upbeat energy and vibe in your video, then go ahead and find some upbeat, energetic music. If you have more of like a sexy, sensual vibe, then add that type of music. It should match, okay? And music matters. I can't tell you how many times people have told me like, oh my God, that song is perfect. Or, oh my God, that song is a vibe, or whatever. Like, Music matters. People want to vibe out, right? Assuming that, again, they can listen to the audio. Okay, so you've added your music, you edited your video, you added text. Now you're going to go ahead and watch. Now you're going to go ahead and watch your video through and make sure that you like it. Of course, if you don't, you're going to go back in and edit. But that is why I like to kind of watch my video in chunks as I go along, so that I can make sure that I don't get all the way to the end and then I'm like, crap. Like, I hate that part. Now I have to go back and do more work. Now, if you are editing in other apps aside from Reels, then of course you're gonna go ahead and make sure that your video is like how you want it before you save it to your phone and then you upload it to Reels. So yes, that is it. You've got your, let's look at the things. You have your cover. You have really cool transitions because we're trying to be bomb, right? You have some cool text. And you got some great music that matches the energy and the vibe of your video. So you are all set. Last thing to do would be to put a really cool caption, use hashtags that are relevant to the video, and post. Now, one important thing, you want to make sure you share to your news feed. I think that's what it says, share to feed as well, or something like that. You want to make sure you're doing that. I've made the mistake of not sharing to my feed because I'm just like, why would I want that on my feed? You want that on your feed. You want that to be a part of what people are seeing when they're coming to you, when you have a new set of eyes, because chances are they're going to see it more than if it was just stuck in that one little tab on your feed. Because again, people, I'm sorry, but people are lazy. They don't want to do a lot of work. And so you have to make things easier for them. Sorry. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was pretty long, but it was a lot of information to pack in there. But I swear, if you follow these tips, you're gonna like produce a really bomb reel, right? Because that's what we want. And there is nothing to do it, like there's nothing to it but to do it. You just gotta do it. Because once you get your first one out there, you're gonna get better and better and better, and you're gonna be addicted. So make sure you subscribe for more videos and leave a comment down below if you learned something new.